The WTO is in crisis. Everybody realizes that, everybody's saying that. But when you look at a crisis situation, the first step, the most important first step, is to have a good diagnostic analysis of what went wrong. And the question here that I want to address is, what have we learned over the past 25 years of the life of the WTO? Why are we where we are today? When we look back, we will see that the WTO has actually suffered from a chronic imbalance in its vital functions. And I mean here three functions. The negotiating function, which is supposed to legislate new rules and new treaty negotiated outcomes, the dispute settlement function, and the monitoring, transparency and deliberative function. These three functions have suffered from chronic imbalance because while the negotiating function has not performed at all the way it was meant to perform, because over the past 25 years we've had only two negotiated outcomes, the Trade Facilitation Agreement and the Information Technology Agreement. For 25 years, that's not good enough. That's not how it was meant to perform. On the other hand, the dispute settlement function has gained strength because of the inherent automaticity in the procedures and the rules that apply to the dispute settlement function. The deliberative function has subsided completely because we were supposed to be in a negotiating mode. You put all this together and you see that this imbalance is not sustainable. And true enough, the negotiating function broke down, and recently the dispute settlement function is breaking down as well. And the deliberative function has almost disappeared. When we talk about reform, everybody says reform, reform, reform. But what does it mean? And this is something that we need to be clear on. What kind of reform do we want? And what kind of leadership does the WTO need at this point?